lug nuts, use a 22mm socket. Take the tire off. Now I'm going to remove these two caliper bolts. Use a 14mm socket, or if you want to, you can use a wrench. Get those loose and take those out. Now slide the caliper up and off. And you want to put a caliper hanger on the caliper and try to hang it from somewhere that's not going to cause the brake hose to have any tension on it, or just place it somewhere that's good right there. Take the brake pads off. If you have to, you can pry them off with a screwdriver or a small pry bar. Use a 15mm socket. Take these two caliper bolts, loosen those up and take those out. Be careful on this bottom one. If you're using a ratchet, you don't want to get stuck in between the shock and the bolt. And grab the bracket and slide it off. If there's a screw holding the rotor on, you want to take that screw out. Normally it's a T30 socket you're going to use. And if it's stuck on there, you want to take a hammer and just tap in these areas. Just be careful of the studs, don't hit the studs. And just grab the rotor and it slides right off. Just take a wire brush and just clean the surface of the hub if there's any rust buildup or corrosion. I'm just going to put a thin coat of anti-seize just on the surface area where the hub is going to meet the rotor. On the old rotor, there should be a rubber grommet right here. Our vehicle doesn't have it. You can just pop that out with a straight blade screwdriver and press it into the new one. Take the new rotor, just line it up backwards first. Take a little brake parts cleaner. Clean the back side and wipe it down. And inside where the parking brake shoes are going to hit, you'll flip it over. If you have that screw, you want to line that up with that threaded hole. Slide this on. Again, brake parts cleaner and wipe it down. We have to adjust the parking brake shoes. They're a little bit loose. Slide that off. We can make the adjustment right there. You can use a screwdriver or a pry bar. Just do about 3 or 4 turns and then put the rotor back on. And it shouldn't be too tight where it's dragging. It should be just lightly dragging. You can always come back after, take that grommet off and try to get in there and try to make your adjustment as well. It's just easier to do it now. That should be good right there. You can always put a couple lug nuts on here and check it at the handle where the parking brake handle is and see if it feels good. Now let's clean up the caliper bracket. Use a straight blade screwdriver and just pry up the pad slides. You can take a wire brush, just clean up any of the rust buildup that's on the bracket. Now take some brake caliper grease and right where the caliper slide's gonna go, where the brake pad clips go. Put some grease and then put the clips on, and another thin coat of grease where the pads are going to go. And then do the same on the other side. Now take the caliper pins out, just slide that out. Take a little brake parts cleaner, wash them off, wipe them down. If they were really corroded, you want to spray some brake parts cleaner in there and then use some type of wire brush that fits in there. And then take some new grease, new caliper grease. Slide those in and make sure the boots are secure and sealed, and then do the same on the other side. Now I'm going to slide the brake caliper bracket on over the rotor. Take the 2 bolts. You can put some thread lock adhesive on the bolts. Put the bolts in, get them both started. Now I'm going to torque these bolts to 92 foot-pounds. Now take the brake pads and install those. The ones with the 2 little dimples go on the front that are in the middle, and the ones with the dimples on the side go in the back. Looks good. Take the caliper, take the hanger off, just flip this over. Take a caliper compressing tool and nice and slow compress the caliper. As the piston is going in, fluid's going through the piston, through the hoses, through the lines, back up into the master cylinder reservoir. Just go nice and slow. Piston's all the way down. Make sure the hose is not twisted and slide it over the brake pads. Install the 2 caliper bolts. And torque those both to 20 foot-pounds. If the stud starts spinning, then you can use some pliers or a wrench that fits. Just prevent it from spinning and torque it. Do the same on the other one. Install the wheel. Put the lug nuts on. Now I'm going to torque the lug nuts to 140 foot-pounds in a cross pattern to tighten the wheel down evenly. And I'll just go around again, double check. Pump the brake pedal nice and slow, and double check your fluid level and adjust accordingly.